Well, looking good for the market. We do have a bunch of stocks which are actually moving to the high point of trade. Titan is one from the frontline space which is now spiked, and M&M is the other one which actually is doing extremely well. The last week belonged to Maruti, but remember this year M&M has been the top performer in the auto space, and now we've seen a bit of a spike out there as well. So all these things, what they've done is they've taken the Nifty closer to that 18,000 mark, just 30 points away from there. Let's see whether the shorts cover their positions or not, how they feel when the Nifty appears closer to that 18,000 mark. But let's talk about some more numbers. JSW Energy, that posted an operationally muted set of second quarter earnings. The company saw weak merchant power demand. Also, the margins did contract to around 37% versus around 45% in the last quarter. Prashant Jain, who's a joint MD and CEO of the company, now joins us. Thanks a lot, Mr. Jain, for joining in. Season's greetings to your team, your family. There was weak merchant power demand as we see. I mean, can you give us a sense of the average realization trends at merchant power stations, and also the price at which you are acquiring coal? That's been volatile too.
Good morning and happy Diwali to everyone at CNBC and your viewers. So in the quarter gone by, of course, we have seen our margins going down, but the margins are reflective of the fuel price, and actually the fuel price have gone up, and because of that the margins came down. For the quarter, we saw the power demand had moderated to 5.7% during the quarter, whereas the previous quarter, that is Q1, the power demand grew at 18%. And that was also reflected in the lower volume in the merchant market. The overall Indian merchant market was down by 18% in the Q2. And the prices also moderated to 5.7 rupees per unit. And you know that the coal prices are still running pretty high at $330, and because of which the fuel price for power generation is pretty high, and at 5.70 rupees, it is not economically viable for most of the generators to pump in more volume.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jain, short-term sales of electricity and its contribution to profit, it's narrowed significantly if I look at the last few quarters. What's the plan to convert the non-tied up segment of thermal? Do you plan for medium-term PPAs?
So that's true. Power is predominantly a long-term supply agreement business, and that's what we have been doing. At one point of time, we were having more than 60% power in the merchant market, and today we are only having 14 to 15% open capacity, which we would like to tie up in due course of time. And so we always look forward for such kind of opportunities, and then we are seeing some opportunities within the group also, where JSW Group is doing the expansion in the steel and cement business, and where we will be tying up such kind of a capacity in next 24 months time frame. And incrementally, whatever capacity which we are building in the renewable space are 100% PPA tied up.
Okay. Mr. Jain, good morning. What is the situation in terms of receivables from DISCOMs?
Good morning, Lata. So for us, it has been pretty good. Our receivables came down by 19%, and we are running our receivables at 66 days, which is one of the healthiest receivable for our company as well as within the sector. And I think, leaving aside the generalized situation, there is a better business environment in terms of the receivable or the sanctity of the contracts which have been prevailed by various adjudicating authorities in various forums. And we are seeing that the trend will moderate going forward, and you will see the receivable for the sector also will go down over a period of 24 to 36 months.
No, that's extremely positive, because that used to be the biggest hurdle for the power sector. Also, now on your EBITDA and margin fall, one can understand coal cost. Was that the only reason?
So margin, we need to look at that fuel prices pass through, and fuel price have gone up by more than 120%. So that's why EBITDA margin as a percentage of sales revenue will be looking contracted, but actually EBITDA is not contracted. And that's why if you see in the absolute terms, the EBITDA is up by 2%. And so in spite of the lower volume. So you need not to look at as a margin.
No, but margin is still lower, no?
Yeah, margin will always be lower in case the fuel price will go up, because we are getting the a fixed cost which is for the for supply of power.
Okay.
So if fuel price is going up from 3 rupees to 6 rupees, and if I'm getting a EBITDA margin of 1 rupee 30 paisa, then my EBITDA margin of 1 rupee 30 paisa remains same, but the denominator, because is
No, I
going
get your
up.
point. I get your point, sir. I'm just wanting to know whether for the second half also, therefore, the 35, 37 is more likely margins rather than 40 plus.
So typically, if the fuel prices are remaining at this level, then you will be seeing the 40% plus. But if the fuel prices further go down, then you will be seeing closer to 50%.
Right. So let's talk about things which are in your control. The first one is the status on the Mitra acquisition. I mean, what kind of synergies have you realized already? How much can come by going forward?
Mitra acquisition, we are expecting to close within the current quarter. And however, as per the transaction, the balance sheet belongs to us for effective 1st of April 2022. So you will be seeing the when we are going to consolidate the balance sheet effective when we conclude that transaction, you will be seeing our EBITDA will be going up. There are various operating synergies which we have, as we explained, that we are looking close to 300 to 400 crores kind of a synergy which we will be bringing by various operational efficiencies and optimization of the assets, which will be reflected from 12 to 18 months time frame post our acquisition.
Okay, all right. Mr. Jain, a longer term question I have for you. JSW Energy's market cap's around 54,000 crores. I think the profit estimate you had given by FY30 is around 4,800 crores, right? Now, given the current situation on renewable energy, coal, development on green hydrogen that you're talking about, do you want to revise that FY30 profitability estimate that you had given earlier?
So Nigel, look, we have given two targets. One target we gave for FY25, where we said that we will be at 10 gigawatt capacity and 20 gigawatt capacity by FY30.
Right.
But if you look at what we have already locked in the capacity for 10 gigawatt, we are going to complete that in next 18 to 20 months time frame.
Perfect.
So we are going to achieve our FY25 guidance probably one and a half year earlier. And that's what will be reflected in the numbers also going forward. In addition to that, there are new business opportunities which we have already opened up in terms of the storage application. Like we have already got 1 gigawatt of the world largest grid lithium-ion battery storage solution, which we have won from SECI. And
right, Mr. Jain, Mr. Jain, we're running a little short on time, but wanted that FY30 guidance. Do you want to revise that number? You're putting a lot of effort in, moving into the renewable energy space and the other acquisitions that you've done as well. Give us a number. FY30, what should it look at? Because otherwise, it'll be difficult to find deep value with the market capitalization at such elevated levels. Go ahead.
Yeah, so step by step. So you will see, as I was trying to make out the point, that we are trying to achieve things earlier. So at some point of time, we will be looking at revising it, but we will do it step by step. We want to concentrate more on execution at this point of time.
Okay. Well, we were hoping to get a number from you. But thank you very much, Mr. Jain, for joining us. There's lots to discuss, but it is a height of earnings season, so we have a lot of managements lined up. We will take a rain check and speak with you later.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,